Tech by Tips.
Hello and welcome to another Tech by Tips video. Today's video request comes from a comment that we got in the channel that is regarding an application that we have already covered but has gone through important changes, and this comes from Red Sea 83, and it says, can you make an updated video with all the variable changes for V2? And this person is talking about an application named Decluttarr. So if we go into the GitHub repository, we'll see that the version number 2 of Decluttarr was released on November 1st, 2025, and it has breaking changes in the configuration. So if you need to update, they have a link here that gives you information on how to do that. We're going to be just covering what's new in version 2 and how to basically set it up from scratch. So to help you out in this, I have put in the reference guides a version here. So if you go to Decluttarr here in the guides, you'll see that now it says that there are 2 versions of Decluttarr, and I broke it down into 2 folders. So in version 1, we'll see the original way that it used to work, which is basically all the configurations here in the Docker Compose file, and it had very few things that you could configure there. Basically, you gave it the information about the instances that you use to download stuff, and a few settings that you could put there for Sonar and Radar. But now that has changed a lot. So if we go back here, we can go into V2 in the repository, and here you will have the structure for the new version of Decluttarr. So in here you have to specify a configuration file to make it more readable and easier to manage. And if you want, you can also specify a folder here for the logs. I'm not doing that here, but that is very easy. You can just create another folder here for the logs and then map that to the container. And we'll see that we have a Docker Compose file that is pretty straightforward. It just has the application with the latest tag and the user that you're going to give to it and all that. And then it says, basically you map the config file to the container in the app config YAML inside the container. And then it says if you want to keep the logs, then you just need to create a logs folder and map that into app logs. So you just comment this out and then make sure that you have that folder that you can map. And also there's a new feature where you can monitor your media. So if you delete something from your media, it's going to be aware of it, and then it's going to talk to the respective Arr and let it know, hey, you need to do a scan because something disappeared and you need to stop monitoring it. So if you're going to do that, you need to mount that directory like you mounted to the other R's, so that then everything works. I'm not going to do that, so I left it commented out, but from how we set up the different applications, I put it in here as an example. Now, the important thing here is the config YAML file. So this is my version of it. I basically grabbed all the details that the developer put in here. So if you go here, you will see that it has information about the config file here, and it has all of the different settings that you can put on it. And basically you come here and you can read it. In order to make it more easy to maintain, I just grabbed all this information and dumped it into the file. So that's why you would see the setting, and then on top of it you will see whether it is required, what kind of options you can select and what those means and stuff like that. So that's what we're going to be covering here. This is the way that I have it running in my case, and it should work for you, but you can make changes based on all the information that you have here. So basically we have this config YAML. This config YAML is going to be given to the application to set itself up, right? It's going to run according to how we configure it here. The first thing that we have here is in the general configurations. The general section talks about the general behavior of the application across all the features. So here, for example, with the log level, I have it as info, which is the default. If you are having problems and you need to get more details, you can put it in debug mode or verbose, and it will give you more information there. Then in here, this is the test run flag. So basically, if you set this to true, it's gonna run the container, but it's not gonna do actually anything. It's just gonna pretend like it's doing it and show you the logs so you can know what you can expect from it, but not actually use it. When you set it to false, then it actually implements things and it starts working. So that's why I have it on false. Now here the timer is an amount of time in minutes that it takes for the application to run the jobs. So in this case I have every 10 minutes to run and do things. You can specify however time, whatever time you want in here. Now, the SSL verification flag here is if you're using SSL in your R's, then you need to put this to true. In my case, I'm not doing that, so I leave it as false. And here we have an optional that is called ignore download clients. So if you have any download client that you want the application to ignore, then you just specify it here. For example, in here, it's a list of values. So you would do that. In my case, I don't have anything like that, so it's blank. Another setting that we have here is about private tracker handling. So what happens with a private tracker torrent if they are flagged by the removal job? So the application checked and it found that, this is something that should be removed, but it is a private tracker. What does it do? You have several options. You can remove, skip, or obsolete tag. So in my case, I just have it to remove. And the same for public trackers. So if it is a private tracker or a public tracker, it's going to remove it no matter what. But you have options here that you can select. Then the obsolete tag is a tag that it will use in Decluttarr to mark torrents so that the application knows that it has to remove it. And it is a tag that you use with the other two previous values that we selected for public tracker and private tracker handling. Then we have another one that is the protected tag, and that means that if you go and tag any torrent with this value that you specify here, then when it is looking for things, it's going to ignore that one. It's not going to touch it. Now, this section here, the job defaults, contains additional settings that you can configure at a global level. And then we have here the max strikes, which means, whenever the application is running and it finds a torrent, it can skip it up to X amount of times. So in this case, I have it to 3. So it skips it 3 times. On the 4th time, then it'll go ahead and do something. And then the minimum days between searches is also a value that you can put here, so that Decluttarr tries to search for an item again, and it takes those amount of days minimum for it to start doing a new search. Then another one here that we have is maximum concurrent searches. Is a value that you can specify. So you tell, for example, Sonar that it can do a search, but it's going to limit it to only 3 things at the same time. And the limit counts separately. So it's 3 for Sonar, 3 for radar, 3 for LiDAR, and like that. So whatever value you put here is going to be the limit that is going to run. Now this is the definition of the specific jobs. So here's like a lot of information. I try to make it so you're very informed on what you do here, right? The jobs that the application has now, it's improved. It can do more things. So for example, the first one is removing bad files. So that means if a torrent is marked not to download, and if they match one of these conditions, for example, they're not available, or the file type is not supported by the Arr, or it is a trailer or a sample, then those files are going to be removed. It's not going to download them. So it's going to mark them as not to download in Decluttarr. And the settings that you have here are true, false, or keep archives true or false. So in my case, I just have it to false, but I left it commented out here if you want to use that. The other job that we have here is remove done seeding. So this basically removes downloads that have been completed and are done with seeding from the download client when they meet your selection criteria. So in this case, I have it done false. So that means that it's not going to run this job, but you have options here where you can select tags or categories that you want it to match, or you can just say true and it's just going to do it. Here's the full description of how it works. But it's basically for removing things once it's done seeding. The remove failed downloads, this checks whether a download has been marked as failed, and if that's the case, then it removes it if you enable it. I have it disabled, so it's not going to do that. This other job here is remove failed imports. So that's if you imported a torrent and it failed for some reason to import, then you can turn it on and it'll get rid of it. Or in my case, I have it set to false, so it's not going to remove them. Another one that we have here is the remove metadata missing. So this is, for example, when you add magnets and the magnet has not loaded any information, it's still looking for metadata. In my case, I have it with max strikes 3. So that means that it's going to try 3 times to give it time to try to pull the information for the turn. But if at the 4th time it hasn't started, then it's just going to remove it. This other job here, remove missing files, it removes downloads that I have a warning files missing from the queue. So if you enable it, then it does that. In my case, I have it as false, so it's not going to do that. So whenever you put false, you're basically disabling that specific job. And then this other one is remove orphans. So that means that if there's a download or a turn that is no longer being monitored in the Arr instance, then it's going to get rid of it. It's going to delete it. So this one I have it to true. Then the other one here is remove slow. For this one, you can define to do it itself with true, in which case it's going to default to 100 kilobytes per second, or you can specify the minimum speed value that you want for that and the maximum strikes. So I have it commented out here, but I'm not using it. I have it set to false. In this one is remove stalled. So that's when you probably have seen that you add a turret and it loaded everything that it needs, but there's no seeders or there's no leechers that you can get the turret from, and it says stalled. So that gets rid of any torrent that is on that status, meaning that it has no one to download from. So that is a useless torrent, so that's why it gets rid of that. I have it enabled. Then you have remove unmonitored. This one is if the torrent exists but it's not being monitored in the Arr, then it gets rid of it. I have it set up to true, so that's what it does. Then search unmet cutoff. This is so that it searches for items that are missing, like episodes or volumes or books or music in the Arrs that have not met the cutoff. So basically it communicates with the appropriate Arr and tells it, okay, you have not met the cutoff, search again, try to see if you can get it. And then here this search missing is tells the Arrs to search for items that are completely missing, so it basically triggers another search. And then the detect deletions, this one is the one that I was talking, that you need to map the folders that contain your content, so that then it can monitor the folders, and if it notices that, for example, you deleted a movie, then it can communicate with Radar and tell Radar, hey, there's a missing file here, do a rescan and get rid of that movie, don't track it anymore. So that's what that does. So those are the jobs that are available now with version 2 of Decluttarr. And then at the end we have the Arr instances that we can configure. So in this case you can specify a list of them. So for example, before you could only have one sonar, but now you can have one or more sonar. So you just specify different base URLs and API keys for that label here, and then you can track all of them. And it's the same for Whisper, Radar, LiDAR, and Radar. So you just put the URL with the port and then the API key, and it should be able to communicate with those instances. And then in the download clients, we have something new here. Previously we had Qubit Torrent, but now we also have SAB-NZBD as an option here, so that it can communicate with SAB-NZBD and help you to manage the queue there too. So those are the new variables that you have, the new jobs that you can configure Decluttarr to run, and this specific version that I have in the reference guide should get you started, and then you can just change whatever you need to change for your specific use case. But at least this one should work. I have it running and it works for me. So that's gonna be it for this video, covering how the application has changed and basically what the settings are. You have the reference guide with all the documentation there, so you can use it on your own to update your Decluttarr and get it running again with the new version that is out. So that's gonna be it for this video. If you liked it, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so, hit the bell so you do not miss any upload to the channel, you get notified. Leave me comments in the comment section below, because as you can see, a lot of my videos are based on your requests, and I try to help you out whenever possible through the comment section also. And you should have not seen an ad of my video because I'm not monetizing the channel, but that means that I make no money for the effort that I put into making these videos. So if you want to support me, there's a link in the description below to PayPal where you can donate, and I will shout out your name in the next video after the donation, unless you tell me that you don't want me to say your name. There's also a Bitcoin wallet address where you can donate if you prefer to do it that way. So that's gonna be it for this one. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.